keep this.
Who blows? You blow or?
Yeah, I blow.
Okay.
I do a little call and response. Hi, if I can invite everyone to seats, I think we're going to get started.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, יא לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יא לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom means Sabbath of peace, so Shabbat Shalom, you say it back? Shabbat Shalom. It should be a peaceful, relaxing, pre-hurricane, which shouldn't be as bad as they say on the news, experience for all of us. Welcome. I'm Rabbi Paul Kipnis, one of the rabbis here at Congregation RME. With Cantor Kyle Kotler, we welcome you here to Shabbat services. We'll celebrate Shabbat, enjoy this moment of peace, and I'm going to teach you a Yiddish word, kvel. Say kvel. Kvel. It means like burst with pride, share our joy and our excitement as this incredible young person, Ezra, becomes a BMitzvah here at Congregation RME. We are here. This is a moment of becoming. And we get to be here as Ezra becomes who he is. We'll mess up pronouns. We'll mess up names. Because we're all learning, just as Ezra has been learning and teaching all of us about growth and change and becoming. It says on the ark, and you can't see it there, but on the left side, just above the stone pictures, it says B'Tselem Elohim. It means we're created in the image of God, from Genesis 1 and Genesis chapter 2 and other places. Being created in the image of God means that no matter what we look like out here and what we look like in here, if you did an MRI, our essence is holy and good and worthy of embracing. And so we, like you, embrace all our young people and all our families and the whole community in the fullness of who they are. And thank you for journeying along with us, and thank you for teaching us how to go on this journey. So, welcome to all of you who are here in the sanctuary with us. Welcome to all of you who are worshiping via the live stream with us. So thrilled you could worship with us. If you're on the live stream, drop in the chat just your name and who's with you and where you're streaming in from, so we can share that later with Ezra and the family. We're going to be using our prayer books. It's called Mishkan Tefillah. It means a tent of prayer. Do me a favor and just open up to page, page 388. Don't you love when they start it? And that's actually the back of the book. Actually, don't turn to page 388. Turn to page 106. Every 2 pages in this prayer book is one prayer. So 106 and 107 use the black numbers, not the blue ones, are the Chatzi Kaddish. When we get to it, Ezra will chant the Hebrew in the upper right-hand corner of the right-hand page. If you want to chant along, we'll always announce the page numbers so you can flip, so we'll all be on the same page. We're a singing congregation, so please sing. We're a smiling congregation, so please smile. You smile more, I'm less nervous. I don't talk as much, which means we get to the owning cookies even more quickly. So, how about another song? Cantor Kyle.
If you want to sing along or follow with the words, we're on page 341. And when I call page numbers and the rabbi calls page numbers, it'll be the black, not the bracketed blue. Try that.
Israel, Bakala, Bakala, Uvizman Kariv, Vimru, Amen. Yehesh Meira Bamevara, La'alamu Alme Almaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, Veishtabach, Veitba'ar, Veitromam, Veitnaseh, Veithadar, Veitale, Veithalal, Shemede Kudisha, Rihu, Le'ela, Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata, Tushbehata V'Nehemata Da'amiran Ba'alma V'imru Amen.
Page 28. Please be seated. We turn to page 35 for Listen and Shema.
If you're lost, you feel afraid, and you don't.
Page 122.
HaKodesh Norati Lodo Sefele Norati Lodo Sefele Shira Hadasha Shibehu Geulim Shira Hadasha Shibehu Geulim Lishimcha Lishimcha Asafat Hayam Lishimcha Lishimcha Asafat Hayam Yahan Kulam Kulam Hodu 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 V'himelu Ve'ameru Adonai Imlo Le'olam Va'ed Adonai Imlo Le'olam Va'ed Lai 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 Ya Lai 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 Ya Lai 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 Ya 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 Lai Lai Lai.
We continue with Vishamru on page 132.
V'shameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam b'nei uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam oti le'olam v'shameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz v'shameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam Yuvel yom hashvi'i shavat ve'inafash shavat ve'inafash shavat ve'inafash v'shameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam.
We now enter our standing prayer, the Amidah. I'm going to invite everyone to please rise. We turn to page 126. And we'll chant together the Amidah.
Yai, lai, yai, lai, 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 lai.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagidol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovin, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zoher hasdei avot ve'imahot Umevi ge'ula livnei v'neihem Lema'an shemo be'achava Melech hozer u'mashiach u'magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Abraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Yai lai 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 Yai lai 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 Yai
Page 128. 128.
Atah gibor le'olam Adonai El hayeh hakol atah Rav le'hoshia Mehalkel hayim bechesed Mehayeh הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומציל עשויים, ומקיים אמונה.
Page 131. We're now at the section of our service, the Kedusha, where we talk about holiness, the holiness of God, the Holy One, the holiness of experience in life. For Jews, holiness, we're taught, is not just about sitting on a mountaintop or down by the beach where Ormi was last night, or meditating wherever, which I do every morning. For Jews, holiness is about how we take our values and act in the world. On page 131, this is from the Holiness Code, from the center of the...
In the garden, there's a tree planted by someone who only imagined me. What love, what vision. I marvel at the gift. No fruit could be sweeter than this. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. As my people went from land to land, something passed from hand to hand, and it isn't just the words and stories of the ancient laws and golden glories. It's the way we study, the book we study. It's the way we study, the way. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. Today my life is full of choice, because a young man raised his voice, because a young girl took a chance. I am freedom's inheritance. Years ago they crossed the sea, and they made a life that's come to me. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. So in the garden I'll plant a seed, a tree of life for you to read. The fruit will ripen in the sun, the words will sound when I am gone. These are the things I pass along, the fruit, the book, and the song. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me.
Jonah, come on up. I first saw him as he walked in. I said, Noah. And then realized, stand right next to your sister and mom and dad. And Mina. Terry? I'm going to encourage everybody else to use the stairs. And Zadie and Bubby, come on up. Mark and Dina, you don't need your books, you don't need anything. And then Steve and Lissa. This is one of the heaviest Torahs you'll ever hold. Heavy not just because physically it's heavy, but heavy because this Torah represents ideas that are heavy. You see, we live in a world that tells us it's all about being happy. And Torah comes to remind us that happiness is good, important, but we've been put on this earth for a different reason, to strive to be holy. Ezra, we live in a world that says it's all about getting rich, about making a buck. And Torah says that money is okay and good and can lead to good. But we should always remember we've been given what we have to help enrich the lives of others. And Torah comes to tell us in a world that says it's all about me, that I can do what I want. Torah says, yes, but you've been put on this earth for a higher purpose, to transform this broken world into a place filled with emet, truth, and tzedek, justice. So it will be a place of ahava, of love. And we will then fill it with shalom, with peace. I know you have shoulders broad enough, strong enough to carry this responsibility. You have a heart open enough and caring enough, and a mind incisive enough, wise enough to know how to use its values for good. V'zot hadakah, this is the moment. V'zot haTorah, that we pass Torah to you.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו.
To help us undress the Torah, we invite up cousins Charles and Wesley and their parents, Uncle Fedge and Aunt Jenna.
עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי. 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 עוד אבינו חי, עוד אבינו חי. עוד אבינו, עוד אבינו, עוד אבינו חי. עוד אבינו חי, עוד אבינו חי. עוד אבינו, עוד אבינו, עוד אבינו חי. עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל 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 חי.
Please, you can watch from wherever. Please be seated. So, how many of you have witnessed a miracle before? One, two, most saying no. Well, ever see a child be born? Kind of miraculous how that thing happens, or even growing, that's miraculous. Anyone been down to the seashore up on a mountaintop and see the sun go down, and all of a sudden God's painting with paintbrushes the blues and the purples and the oranges and those yellows, and it's miraculous. The world turns into the beauty that we know is there and we forget all the time. Or maybe you've been with someone who's gone into the depths of addiction and made their way, maybe through the 12 steps, recovery, into wholeness. That is miraculous. Today, you're going to see a miracle, I promise you. See, these words are 2,500, 5,000 years old. And there isn't a civilization from that back then that is using its holy words even today in the same way. But we Jews do it. Why? Because we take a young person, most of the time whose main language is not Hebrew, right? No? And with the help of Ezra's incredible teacher, our rabbinic intern, Sam Thal, right there on the right, Ezra already knew how to read Hebrew, but learned even more how to read Hebrew, how to read the Torah portion with vowels, and then chant it with the ancient musical notes. And then, because there were no vowels in the Torah, we took out the vowels, and there's no musical notes, we took away the musical notes, and still then brought Ezra to this Torah, which is a little different calligraphy script than Ezra was used to. And so you're going to see a modern person, contemporary in the 21st century, taking ancient words and bringing them to life. And then Ezra's going to teach us the values and understandings that come from it. That is a miraculous recreation, continuation of our ancient tradition. So hold on to your seats, your yarmulkes, your hats, and get ready for this. We're going to call up a number of relatives for an Aliyah Torah to physically come up here on the bima, but even more importantly, to be close to and bless the Torah. There are talitot if you want back there, not required, but we have them there, so you'll go get one now. And you'll come up, and I have the blessings in Hebrew, transliteration, and English. This is the old way.
For the first Aliyah, we call to the Torah Zofia, Sarah, Ella, and Evan. Nala amod le'aliyah rishona, Bela bat Aharon v'Tamar, v'Sara bat Aharon v'Tamar, v'Tova bat Aharon v'Tamar, v'Evan.
Adonai hamvarach leolam vahed, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, V'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai, noten ha'Torah.
Amen. Lo tizbah l'Adonai Elohecha shor v'asem asher yevo mum kol davaram ki toavat Adonai Elohecha hu ki matzeh v'kirbeha be'ahad sha'areha Asher Adonai Elohecha noten lach ish o isha Asher ya'aseh et haram be'einei Adonai Elohecha la'avor berito v'yelech v'ya'avod Elohim acherim Ve'asitem lahem ve'lashemesh o la'yareya kehol tzeva hashamayim asher lo tziviti.
Let's turn this over. Down here. 1, 2, 3. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten ha'Torah. Yes, high five, fist bump, whatever, get out of here.
For the second Aliyah, we call to the Torah Mina, Terry, Zadie Mark, Bobby Dina, Papa Steve, Nana Alyssa, Aunt Ann, and Uncle Aaron. Nala amod le'aliyah shniya, Moshe v'Sara v'Shmuel, v'Tamar bat Sara v'Avraham, v'Aaron ben Moshe v'Sara.
Baruch et Adonai hamvarach. Baruch Adonai hamvarach leolam vaed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher notan lanu mikol
Asher bachar banu
mikol hamim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Everybody pull around so you can see this amazing thing.
Vehu gadlecha v'shamata v'darashta heitev v'hine emet nahon hadavar ne'esta hatoeva hazot be'Yisrael vehu tzeta et ha'ish hahu et ha'isha Hahiv asher asu et hadavar hara emet el she'arecha et ha'ish et ha'isha uskaltam ba'avanim v'ametzu al pi shnaim edim shlosha edim yumad emet yumad al pi eid echad.
At the bottom of the page, everybody. 1, 2.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher notan lanu Torah emet v'kaya olam notan b'dorkeinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Give Mama a hug and a kiss.
I love you. Oh, sorry. That's okay.
Why don't you step right back here?
I love you. We follow directions.
The grandparents stay up, aunts and uncles will go back down.
For the third.
Okay, Ezra, stand here. Grandparents, I want you to line up right over here. Come on over so Ezra can see you. Okay. Look at them. Ezra, what you see before you is something unique and very special. Soon, at the end of this whole weekend, you'll see that you've, in addition to done something amazing and had a great celebration, you will receive a lot of presents. But the most important presents you will receive, the most significant gifts, are standing right before you now. These people, different than so many people in the world, love you unconditionally. They love you for who you are as you become who you are. They remember, most of them, holding you as a little baby, watching you grow, being amazed at your energy, excitement, the goodness you brought into the world. These people also remember things that you have only learned about in the history books. They remember things that happened in America. They remember good presidents and bad presidents. They remember Israel before there was an Israel and when it was reborn, right? No? No? Oh, Israel. Okay. Okay, so they remember the first years of Israel, which is exactly what I said. That's okay? When I first started out and had a lot more hair on my head, they all knew Israel before it started. But okay, so they remember the first years of Israel and watching Israel grow and become the amazing place it is. They each have stories that, better than any book, TV show, social media post you'll read, will be fascinating if you can slow down enough to read the story. And the way you do it is you just ask them. Ask them about what life was like when they were kids, when they were teens like you. Ask them about the times they felt like they fully belonged and the times they felt uncomfortable and awkward. Ask them about their first dates and first loves, the things they liked to do when they were young. Ask them about your mom and dad back when they were kids and they were cool still. They're kind of cool still now. These are people who have things to tell you, and they are all here now. But what you don't understand as you are in the beginning of this incredible journey is that forever is not forever. You have them now. And to have 5 grandparents at your BMitzvah is a gift. So unwrap them. Keep them closed, but unwrap them by asking questions about them, spending time with them. You know the greatest gift you will give your 30 or 40-year-old self is to be in touch with them every week or 2 weeks. Here's the secret. Grandparents don't need a lot. Sometimes you call and spend 5 minutes and tell them a story they heard before they won't remember anyways. If they do, they'll love it anyways. Okay? But it's a gift for you. It's a great gift for your parents. Because it's practice for when you have kids, if you decide to, that they'll call them when they're the grandparents. And it's a gift for these people. So give them all one more hug, and then they'll descend the bima, and we'll continue on. Mazel tov.
For the third aliyah, we call to the Torah Noah, Samantha, and Jonah. Nala Amod, Le'aliyah Shlishit, Noach ben Moshe v'Sara ve'Ahava bat Shmuel, ve'Yona Racham ben Noach ve'Ahava.
Adonai Havarach, Baruch Adonai Havarach Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Adonai Havarach Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim, V'natan Lanu Et Torato, Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Amen. Yad ha'edim tihye bo verishona lamitzo v'yad kol ha'am ba'acharona uvi'arta hara mikirbecha ki yipalei mimcha davar lamishpat bein dam ledam bein dim ladin ubein nega la nega divrei rivosh bisharecha v'kamta v'alita el hamakom asher yivchar Adonai Elohecha bo Uvatam el hakohanim halevim ve'el hashofet asher yagidu asher yuhiyeh v'amirim hahem v'darashta v'higidu lecha et davar hamishpat.
Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'torheinu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. And for the maftir, for the final aliyah, we call to the Torah Ezra. Nala amod, nala amod, nala amod, bachur kabbalat mitzvah, Eden bela ben Noach ve'hava, chazak chazak v'nitchazek.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim ve'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah. asita al pi hadavar asher yigidu lecha min hamakom hahu asher yuvhar Adonai v'shamarta la'asot kehol asher yoruha al pi haTorah asher yoruha ve'al hamishpat asher yomru lecha ta'aseh lo tasur min hadavar asher yagidu lecha yamin usmo v'ha'ish asher yaseh v'zadon Levilti shemoa el hakohen ha'omed l'sharet sham et Adonai Elohecha o el hashofet umat ha'ish ha'u uvi'artahara mi'Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'hayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Step right there. To help us dress the Torah, we call up dear friends Rachel Simonelli Harrison and Rabbi Julia Weiss. If you'll come stand right here close to the podium, and to help open and close the ark, so you'll stand right in front of the ark. That would be Aunt Linda Bookman and cousin Ariel Bookman. You all come here, and Linda and Ariel stand right by the ark. We rise to give honor to the Torah. Please rise.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. וזאת התורה אשר שם משה, וזאת התורה, וזאת התורה אשר שם משה, וזאת התורה לפני בני ישראל, וזאת התורה על פי אדוני ביד משה, וזאת התורה, וזאת התורה אשר שם משה, וזאת התורה.
Please be seated. Jonah, come on back, if you will, please. You stand. Okay, turn and face me. Yes, yes.
Ready? All right. So I remember how nervous I was at my bar mitzvah, even though it was on Zoom. I'm really impressed that you did really well, and you even had to do it in front of actual people. And of course, you can actually sing. I know we don't hang out much now that we're older, but I remember playing this game called Red Ball with you. It was only called Red Ball because we used a red ball. Basically, how this game worked was you'd run back and forth on our couch, and I'd try and peg you with the ball. So, at the time, it was a very fun game, but I do realize now that you really never got a turn with the ball. I also remember one of my other favorites, or your favorites. This one was your favorite. Push Jonah off the bed, which involved you pushing me off the bed. We'd put all our blankets and pillows on the floor, and you'd shove me onto the pile. But of course, I'd always reach out to try and drag you down with me. I also remember when you'd get really upset and past to the point where Mom and Dad were able to help, and you'd always let me come in and try and cheer you up. And it would always work. And you nicknamed me Joni and started calling this Joni Magic. You'd laugh at whatever ridiculous thing I'd do to try to make you feel better. I guess that's a great thing about having a sibling. There's always someone who cares about how you're doing and is there to try and help you. I know you always care about me too, and I appreciate that a lot.
Oh, gosh.
Mom and Dad?
I'm not going to squeeze you like that. Don't worry. I did not practice. I was so worried about you practicing that I did not practice, so it's okay. When I think about you, my sweet Ezra, of course I think about how you are unapologetically you. At a time in life when most kids want to blend in, you are living your life out loud. Rather than shrinking yourself down to hide, you stand tall and proud, even insisting on wearing platforms today, even though you're tall. When it might even make things easier to be slightly more muted, you continue to shine just as you are. You refuse to smooth down the edges to make others more comfortable, and I admire you immensely for that. At 13, you already know what many adults never learn. And not everyone is going to like you, and that is just fine. You'd rather be the truest version of yourself than try to blend in. I look around the world and see so many people who are trying to make themselves more acceptable, more likable, to take up less space. But not you, my dearest, sweetest Ezra. You are just refining the incredible gem that you are. At the start, I know this BMitzvah process was scary and felt overwhelming. But another thing that I appreciate about you is that you don't let fear stop you. You see the fear and you keep right on going. You epitomize bravery, not because you lack fear, but rather because you recognize that we can't eliminate fear and struggle from our lives, but we can learn to acknowledge them and keep on doing our thing. You guys, you're crying. You're gonna... I'm doing fine up here, and the two of them. Okay. We can learn to acknowledge them and keep on doing our thing. You kept on studying, line by line, day by day. And where you got to today was absolutely stunning. You did such a fantastic job. I really admire and appreciate this quality in you, and I know that it will serve you for the rest of your life. I am so blessed to be your mom. You light up my life, and you make me laugh every single day. I love you, parallel.
Okay.
voice today. I was like blown away, truly. When I think of my youngest child, words like delight, fierce, and joy come to mind. EB, from the moment you came into this world, you have been a source of immense happiness. We have always marveled at your contentment. From the earliest years to today, you can spend hours entertaining yourself. Being happy with oneself is such a gift. Early in your life,
Here it goes. Just like the Jonas Briss.
your bubby had a pretty big accident. You were just a baby. You were the light in every room. You were the respite everybody needed. You would smile and snuggle. And remind us that even in dark times there is light. For me, that sense of contentment from your mere presence has remained. I love it when you come hang out with Mom and I to watch a show and try to help us understand the intricate plots of the books and the books you're reading and the shows you're watching. I don't understand any of them. Not to say that life with you and for you has been bliss all the time. Being human is really hard, and you experience and express the full range of emotions. That's okay. The amount of personal growth and maturity you have shown even in the past year has been phenomenal. I think a lot of that comes from your willingness to feel and to work through your feelings. With this, I need to say something about your mom. I think we can both agree that she's pretty special. And she's been the perfect fit for you to help you grow up. I'm also proud of your journey with your gender. Our culture wants you to be a certain way and act a certain way. It can take the spirit out of you. It takes the spirit out of a lot of people. My sweet Ezra, stay fierce. Stay you. That will change and evolve. That's okay. We are here for you through all of it. There's a Paul Simon song that always makes me think of you. The lyrics go, I'm going to watch you shine, going to watch you grow, going to paint a sign so you'll always know, as long as one and one is two, there can never be a father who loved his child more than I love you. Love you more than anything, Ezra. Mazel tov.
We'll clean up a little bit. Ezra's now going to return to the mother tongue, to English, and to teach us a little bit about the meaning of the Torah portion, what Ezra read, and then how he understands its meaning and some other things about this special day.
Shabbat Shalom. I read from Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verses 1 through 12, called Shoftim. In my Torah portion, if somebody decides to pray to something that is not God, they should be punished for it by being stoned to death, which is a little dramatic. And although this is an overreaction, I do like some parts of the Torah portion. For instance, there has to be more than one witness to a crime. You cannot accuse someone of a crime unless you have two accounts or witnesses of that crime. It makes sense to listen to two people when it comes to a serious crime, because one may claim something falsely. However, receiving two accounts of a crime helps with accountability. If something is too controversial, a person is supposed to take the account to the priests, and the priests must listen to their claim. It is always good to have a person help make a decision, like a priest, but at the same time, I don't think the decision should be left to only one person, especially because the punishment for not listening to the priest's verdict is death for the person who received the verdict, as well as the punishment for the person who committed the crime. Multiple people can get into an argument, and having one person deciding the verdict is helpful. However, what if we question whether we should be listening to the priest on this verdict altogether? What if the priest gives bad information or is biased? When I read Torah, I'm comparing it to modern-day things. What things are outdated, and what practices are we still doing today? When we read this Torah portion, we should be asking ourselves, how is this part similar to our justice system today, and what are some things we can take from the Torah portion to use today? I am becoming a BMitzvah because I grew up Jewish, and it has always been a part of my life. Becoming BMitzvah is the thing I knew I would do when I was older, and now I get to do it. Judaism is a big part of my life, and I'm excited to get to be a part of the culture. My dad, my grandpa, my brother, my grandma, and most of my other family members became BMitzvah. It is a part of my heritage and part of our family. Becoming BMitzvah is part of being Jewish and growing up Jewish. My mom didn't become BMitzvah, but she knows how important it is to become one, and it has always been important to me. The hardest part of the journey has been finding a set time and remembering to practice. It has been fairly easy for me to learn the prayers and sing them because I knew many of them already. Becoming BMitzvah comes with a certain responsibilities as a Jewish adult. I get to read from the Torah, and this is important because the Torah is very sacred. Reading from it is a privilege because it is super old and special. When I was younger, I received my Siddur, my prayer book, and a mini Torah. I remember at events I would hug the stuffed Torahs and dance around. Now I get to read from the actual thing. I also get to wear a talit. It is a shawl with tzitzit on the sides, which is tied in knots to represent the commandments in Torah. Growing up, I would see all the adults wearing talitot. When I was 8, I went to Israel for my grandma and grandpa's anniversary with other family members, and while we were there, I went to a talit shop and picked out my talit. The talit I picked out has blue and silver stripes on it, just like my brother's does. There are other responsibilities when becoming BMitzvah. As a child, I was recommended that we fast during Yom Kippur, but now it is expected, and feels more special because it makes me feel like an adult now. I remember seeing all the kids eating snacks during the high holiday programs, but none of the adults would. I have tried fasting to prepare myself for this moment and felt very cool and special. Growing up, everyone talked about God, and I always liked about Temple is that they said God was everywhere and God was love. I remember the rabbi pointing in different directions when saying this. God is happiness and good feelings, definitely not a person or thing. God is characterized by a voice in the clouds or an old guy in the movies. But I was always taught to believe that God is good feelings. Sometimes when I'm on a walk or a trail, I will space out and walk around and look at nature, and it looks so pretty, and I feel very happy, and that is when I think God is present. A lot of people helped me get to where I am today, and I want to thank all of them, but I can't possibly thank every single one, but I will try my best. To start off thank yous, I want to thank my mom and dad because they brought me in the world and they are very important in my life. Mom, you were always super nice and always there for me. I really enjoy sitting on the couch watching Superstore with you. I also love watching shows that are cool for psychology purposes. I love watching reality TV shows with you and talking about the people and what they do and seeing how they make their decisions and how they interact. I love being with you and I'm really thankful that we get to hang out a lot. Sorry. Dad, I really love talking about science with you. I remember when I was younger, we would go on walks and talk about astronomy and the Big Bang Theory. I also really like going on beach walks with you. It's so fun that I really like hanging out with you. I love you so much and love going on adventures with you. Jonah, I love you, and I'm glad you are finally watching anime, even though you are mean to me about the ones that I like. But still, I really love you, and you are a great brother. Mina, I really like hanging out with you. I love going to Boba and talking about history and the economy, because we have similar views on issues in the world right now. I always love having conversations with you because you know so much more information, and I get to learn new things and new words. I love you, and I really like spending time with you and being with you. Bobby and Zadie, I still remember when you would pick Jonah and I up every week to have dinner at your house. I loved guessing what we were going to have for dinner that night and loved being at your house because it was always so great. I love you and I always love seeing you. Papa and Nana, whenever we go over to your house, I always know that there will be something cool to do. I always get excited doing something at your house or anywhere else. It is always fun to see you and Dolly and the cats and hang out. I love you and always enjoy our time together. I have been going to temple since I was really little, and each time I see Rabbi Paul, I get excited to learn Judaism with him. I remember once during Hebrew school learning a Torah story about Jacob falling asleep on a rock, and Rabbi Paul used a bag of peas in a basket as a bag of rocks. This is the story that I will always remember about temple and always love to tell people. Thank you for always making learning Torah fun. Cantor Doug, I know you're retired, but you were the cantor for my entire life, and I participated in song leading. I love singing songs with him because he got the kids so engaged, even when I was in 6th grade, and acted too cool for it. I still really enjoyed time with Cantor Doug. I would like to thank Cantor Kyle for playing the music for my BMitzvah and helping me practice for this day. Thank you to Mihal for starting my Hebrew training and helping me learn all of the prayers and teaching me some words in Hebrew along the way. Thank you to Rabbinic Intern Sam for teaching me my Torah portion. Even though it wasn't easy, I really do enjoy learning my Torah portion and find Hebrew really interesting. Thank you, Rabbi Julia, for years of Hebrew school. Thank you to everyone for coming, whether it was my family who came to support me, or my friends who are here and don't know what's happening here, but clapped and sang Lai Lai the whole time. I'm really glad you could make it. Shabbat Shalom.
Let me see you clap and do.
Semen tovu, mazel tovu, mazel tovu, semen tov, semen tovu, mazel tovu, mazel tovu, semen tovu, mazel tovu, mazel tovu, semen.
They're so proud, amazingly proud. And so we have some gifts from you. From our Hinenu Caring Community Committee, we have a mezuzah. It goes on the doorpost of your house or your room. It angles in because it's messages for the people who live in that room, not as much for the people outside, though it's important for them too. And you'll put it it's supposed to go 2/3 of the way up, but really somewhere where you can touch it, so you can do it a little higher if you want, because you're a little taller. But its ideals, sometimes people kiss it going in and out as a reminder that when you walk by the way, when you go out the doors of your room and your house, all the holiness, all the values, all the goodness, you need to share with those out there. And then when you go back in, you got to share it with yourself too. Now, we have some other things. Oh, sorry about that. We have a BMitzvah certificate that will be signed by your rabbis and cantor as soon as services are over, and that's for the scrapbook. Scrapbook's like Instagram, but a book, okay? Oh, you have a scrapbook. Good. Now, we have for you a gift certificate good for $3,250. Talk about a random number. $3,250 from the URJ and the Reform Movement and Route 1 for a trip to Israel during one of your high school summers on one of their programs. There's also all sorts of other scholarship money. So you may want to save this. Maybe you'll give it to your mom or dad and they'll put it in a safe deposit box, which is like Venmo, but real. There's a whole group of teens, 9th through 12th grade, our youth group Lomti, who are cool and have such fun things run. The program's advised by Andrew Fromer, who I know you love. They want to get to know you because they sort of know you, but they think you're awesome. So they're giving you a gift certificate for one free event to go and celebrate with them. So you can put this, like Venmo again. And lastly, we have a book. Now, a book is like a web page, but right, and you sort of surf your way through, but it's pages. And anyways, this book is a gift from the Jewish Federation, and it's called Israel Matters, Understand the Past and Look to the Future. Now, I know you were in Israel because we came back from a trip that many years ago in Jerusalem, and I think it used to be called the Moriah Hotel, now it's the Panorama? I don't know. We got there and you and your brother were swimming in the pool and your grandparents were there and your parents. You're having a great trip. Well, this book will help you understand and enjoy it. Here's the request. I'm going to give it to you. But when the service ends, I don't want you to run to the couches and sit down and start reading through it because you got to socialize with some of your guests and your friends. But when that's over, don't sit down and start reading it either. You should celebrate tonight and have a lot of fun. But in the months and weeks and years to come, flip through it. Israel lives in a complex neighborhood, and it's complex and nuanced, and things are challenging, and things are amazing. And this book will help you understand some of the background to it. And if you still have questions, you can ask me or your new rabbi, Rabbi Lana, who's the greatest teacher of all that anywhere. So we're going to hold on to these, but we've got 2 more blessings for you. And one of them is coming from Cantor Kyle.
So I'm going to ask you to sit in the front row there, Ezra. So if, yeah, thank you, Rabbi, thank you. Yeah, next to your mom would be great. Thank you. So it's typically not cool for clergy to speak in absolutes or to pick favorites, but I have to say, of all of the BMitzvahs I've ever done here, yours was my favorite. It's also the only one I've done. Which is why it makes it so easy to say that yours is my favorite. I'll never be able to say that again. Yeah, without getting in trouble. But I will say, in the limited amount of time that I've been here and been able to work with you, it's always fascinating to see the uniqueness of each person who becomes a BMitzvah, primarily because you really get to see and understand who a person is when they are faced with something difficult. And this is a difficult process. As the rabbi shared, you learned a different language. You learn to chant in that different language and think critically about these foreign words that you're saying. And that's no small task for anyone, let alone someone who's like 12, 13. That's huge. And what impressed me most in our time together was how cool, calm, and collected you were the whole time. Because you admitted you were nervous, and everybody should be a little nervous because it shows that you care. But in each of our lessons together, not only did you improve, you took it seriously, you worked really hard, and you came back better and better and better. And what impressed me the most was in our rehearsal that we did prior to the service start, going through the prayers in your Torah portion. The best you did was during the service itself. You just kept getting better, and despite all of these people in front of you, despite the cameras on and the lights all on you, you did even better. And I think that's awesome because as someone who gets up in front of people very frequently, when the lights are on me, I get nervous and I tend to make more mistakes. You made less. And that is so awesome. It's a testament to the work that you put in. It's a testament to your own confidence and your ability to just, as we talked about before, and I heard you, I think before your third aliyah, just go, and you just breathed. And you went into it and you did your best run through on the third and fourth aliyah ever. I am so proud of you. And I hope you feel that same sense of pride for yourself, and I hope you feel the pride that everybody else is exuding right now. And I feel so incredibly privileged because I've been saying this for years, and it's more special now because I'm going to sing you a very special song. And it's a song that my dad sang to me at my bar mitzvah, before it was called the BMitzvah, at my bar mitzvah in 1998. Not on this bima, because we weren't here yet. But I had it sung to me, and now I get to sing it to you. Shema b'ni, shim ibiti. Page 388, if you'd like to follow along in the back of your siddur. Shema b'ni, take these wings to fly with. Shim EBT, with these roots you will grow. This is my promise, this is my blessing. You are the promise, and you are the blessing. Shema b'ni, Shim EBT. God's children come into the shelter, a place of peace, a house of prayer, a center of learning, of justice, of giving, where everyone's loved and where everyone cares. Shema b'ni, Shim EBT. Ufros aleinu, ufros aleinu, ufros aleinu, sukat shlomecha. A mother calms the cry of her infant. A young boy reads and becomes a man. Vows are exchanged as two hearts become one. A daughter returns and reads Kaddish again. Shema b'ni, Shim EBT. So you shall fly on wings of eagles, and you shall grow like a sturdy tree. This is my promise, this is my blessing. You are the promise, and you are the blessing. Shema b'ni, Shim EBT. Shema b'ni.
one more gift. In a moment, I'm going to take our BMitzvah, Ezra, before the ark to share some private words of blessing. During that time, I want you to imagine that you're standing in my shoes. What words of blessing or praise would you share with Ezra? If you're in the live stream, drop those words into the chat. If you're in this room, hold them in your memory so that later on this weekend you can find some time to pull Ezra and mom and dad aside and share those words of praise directly. But for now, sit back, listen to the beautiful music, and think some words of blessing. Special times, words that capture our deepest blessings for this young. Please rise. May God bless you and watch over you. May God shine upon you and be very, very good unto you. May God fill you with God's holiness everywhere and at every moment and wherever you are. May you feel the precious of blessings inside, in your family, in your home, and in our world. The blessing of shalom, of peace. And we all say, Amen. Amen. Let's turn in our prayer book to page 294. 294. Even in times of joy, we take moments to remember our loved ones, those on whose shoulders we stand. Pass on donations to them so that they can find solace and rebuild, just like others did for us during the Woolsey and other fires. Those of you who are remembering your loved ones now, as I bring my hand around the room, I invite you to mention their name and relationship to you aloud. This morning we're remembering. We rise together as a congregation as we say the words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divarach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agalav v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ul'olmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudusha brichu. Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mrumav, Ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen.
It is a tradition in some Jewish communities that when the month of Elul begins, the last month of the Jewish year, before the first month of the Jewish year, Tishrei, which brings in the high holy days, to sound the shofar. Now, Congregational RME, we're going to have our high holy day services, as always, at the Thousand Oaks Civic Arts Plaza. It's live streamed at no cost, orme.org, or whatever. It's on the website somewhere. To go to services, because of security, you need to get tickets. You can order them online. We do our family services here, and then we do Tashlich at the beach, Rosh Hashanah day over at Zuma Beach. But anyways, it's a tradition to sound the shofar. The shofar is an alarm clock. It's a wake-up call. It's a reminder that life doesn't have to be as it is. That the relationships that have become a little broken, that the way we see ourselves that have become a little messed up, that our actions that cause us now shame or regret, or the way we've hurt other people, this book is not sealed. We can change, we can reset, we can turn our lives and our relationships and our world around. And it's a tradition during the whole month of Elul to sound the shofar, to wake us up a little more and say, reach out, try to fix what's broken. The new year can be better. So, I'm a little out of practice, but let's do this. I'll say the call we're going to say, and then you say it after me, and then I'll sound it. Sound good? Okay. Tkiya. Shivarim. Trua. Tkiya. And the big one, Tkiya Gedola. You gotta wait for high holidays for that. That'll come. Join us out, actually right now, first I'm gonna send our BMitzvah brother, parents, and grandparents out into the kitchen, the notchery. If you'll go between those two tables and stand there, I'm gonna then bring everybody else out. You can leave your stuff here if you want and come back and get it, but all the grandparents go out, everybody else hang out for a second. when everybody else gets out there, there's cups of little grape juice. Grab it. Don't drink it yet. We're going to do a blessing. And then we'll say a blessing over the challah, and then we'll eat it. I think it's chocolate chips, so, either eat the bread or eat the chocolate chips, but don't leave whatever you don't eat. And then we got some cookies. Thank you for coming. Join us out in the foyer.